right, folks. So let's do a recap really quick. All right, so over here to the side of my machine, I have an acetylene tank and I could have a nitrous tank. So nitrous is typically the smaller one. Acetylene is typically going to be my bigger one. And those two gas supplies are going into my AA instrument that's going to be sitting right here. And those two gases are creating the flame inside of the machine. If it wasn't for those gases, I'm not going to get a flame, right? Those are my oxidants. And we also said that out here on the side, I'm going to have a sample, and that sample is typically going to be a liquid when I get ready to measure it on the machine. And I have a nebulizer tube that sucks my sample up and it delivers it to the burner head. And I have to check the flow rate of the sample as it's getting sucked up, at least in the beginning. So two different tanks, two different gases, two different types of flame, one a little cooler, one a little hotter. And either way, it's going to suck up my sample at an ideal flow rate of 10 mil a minute. Okay, well, we talked about choosing the proper burner head. If I'm using acetylene, I need the acetylene burner. If I use the nitrous, I need the nitrous burner. But there's more to the story than this. This is just as far as we made it so far. So we've talked about the proper alignment of the lamp, right? We did a whole video or a couple of videos on aligning the lamp up the proper way. Well, there's also an alignment to the burner head. And typically here in the very front of the machine, near the burner head itself, you're going to find a knob, or two knobs maybe. And this will allow me to align the burner head. Now, why do we have to align the burner head? Well, we have to make sure that that little slit that's in the burner head, remember that 1 millimeter wide slit, super, super tiny? We have to make sure that that is in alignment with the lamp. If it's not in alignment with the lamp, we're not going to get good reads on the machine. So sometimes we're going to have to move that burner head left or right. And sometimes we're going to have to move that burner head up and down. And the reason is because I want that blue area smack dab in the middle of the lamp view that goes to the detector. Well, this is typically a little bit harder to pick up on. Aligning the lamp is pretty easy. I turn the couple of knobs, I look on my computer screen, and I see the optimization signal. And I adjust it until I get the detector to peg out. And then my job is done for the lamp. The burner head, though, we have to make sure is in the light beam. And the burner head is going to be a little bit harder because of that. Because how can I see the light beam? It's going to look invisible to me unless I put something that blocks in its way. Well, here's the trick that we do. Most of the instrumentation companies now provide you a burner head alignment card. And this is basically the size of a business card. And there's an area on it that will have a crosshair that sits about 1 centimeter above the burner head. There's actually a crosshair on the top and the bottom, just in case you want to flip that card around. Well, this sits 1 centimeter, and the reason for that is because the blue area should be about 1 centimeter in height, right? And we're going to start measuring at the tip of that blue area. That's where we want to be. So what I would do is that I would put this business card kind of lined up on the burner head, and I want it to kind of line up with the slit in the burner head because this is where my flame's going to come out. And I turn my lamp on. And when I turn my lamp on, it's going to shine at this business card. And if I've aligned the burner head up the right way, that lamp should hit smack dab in the middle of the crosshair. If it does not, then I need to take my adjuster, and one of these knobs will raise the burner head up and down if it needs to be lowered or raised, and one of the knobs will move the burner head left to right in case it needs to be recentered. But the business card is going to allow me to do that. Now, the business card is really kind of unique to all instrumentation companies. And the reason is because they're all made slightly different. The burner head is made in a different way depending on the instrumentation manufacturer. This relies on the shape of the burner head and where that slit is actually located in the burner head. And these are not universal business cards. I can't use an Agilent business card for a Buck Scientific atomic absorption spectrometer. They would have their own alignment tool that I would need. Okay? In the old days, instead of a business card, what would happen is that you would suck up sample. Okay, that's the problem here. So you would have sample, and you would suck the sample up into the burner head, and then you would finally adjust the left and right and the up and down knobs until you could max out the absorbance or the signal from the machine. That's how you would know that you've got your burner head in alignment with the lamp and the detector. So I would maybe take a copper sample and I would put copper through the burner and I would put my copper lamp in, and as it's sucking my sample up, I would look on my instrument or my computer software and I would gradually move that burner head knob left to right or up and down until I could yet again maximize the signal out of the machine. Okay? So that's the burner head alignment. Two alignments that you have to make, the lamp and the burner. Now, here's the thing. The lamp has to be aligned every time. We've talked about the importance of this. Each time you use the machine, you have to align the lamp to make sure that it didn't drift. The burner is a little different. The burner head is not going to drift that much. Its setting is pretty much done. So once you check the burner head, you typically don't have to check it for months. I can just quickly run a sample through the machine to see if I'm getting about the concentration that I need to get. And if I do, then I'm all set. I don't need to go back and mess with the burner setting. But over time, well, the burner head could slowly drift out of place, and I would just want to double check to make sure that that alignment is still made the proper way. If it's not, then I would want to go back and I would want to fix it. But the lamp, daily. The burner head, not so much. Okay? All right, so we've got to align the lamp. We have to align the burner. We have to make sure the sample's getting sucked up into the burner at a certain flow rate. And then I have to make sure that my burner head is the right one for the gas that I'm using, either the acetylene or the nitrous. And the reason that there's a choice is because one burns a little bit hotter than the other. All right, so we're not done with the burner head yet, but the overall scheme of things, this is how the machine is beginning to work. We need to now talk more detail about a certain piece of the burner head, and this is going to be called the nebulizer. So the area that I said had a impact bead, that little piece down here below the burner head is called the nebulizer. And we need to talk about its purpose and what it actually does in the next video.